Today I'll be talking about dyslexia. My topic is just because I learn differently, and my task is to inform you of various ways to teach children with dyslexia. According to an article from the Free Child by Karen Roden, 5 to 10% of elementary school age children are diagnosed with dyslexia. For the past 7 months, I have worked with the Dyslexia Foundation of Memphis in Germantown. It's a place where kids with different disabilities come and learn how to basically learn what we normally do, everyday tasks that we do. How many of you all have children or nieces and nephews? Now, just imagine that your child has difficulty with a simple rhyme. This may be because they may have a form of dyslexia. The three things that I want to talk about is early diagnosis, signs and symptoms, early diagnosis, and the various ways of teaching children with dyslexia. First, I would like to talk about diagnosing the signs and the symptoms. According to research conducted at the Mayo Clinic, dyslexics have trouble seeing letters. They may see like a B as a D, they switch them around and they reverse them. They may see a P as a Q in print, and they may see a word like was as saw, so they kind of flip the letters around. Another sign or symptom is that they have trouble remembering things in sequence, as far as like the days of the week, the months of the year, and sometimes even counting numbers. The signs and symptoms in the elementary school age children, they are almost the same as children with dyslexia. So this brings me to my second point, which is early diagnosis. The earliest time that you find a child with dyslexia is the best time to find out if they have dyslexia or not. According to Karen Roden in the article called The Free Child, early detection is key on how to develop several ways of learning with dyslexia. Back in March or April, in a class here at Southwest, we saw a film called Misunderstood Minds, which dealt with 4 different children with disabilities. 3 of them got early detection, so they kind of succeeded through school. 1 didn't get detected until he was 16, and he ended up in jail. So it's kind of like the ones that got detected early kind of succeeded in life, and the one that got detected late, he's in jail because nobody was there to kind of let him know that he wasn't stupid. It was just something that he had, like a disease that he had, that he just had to learn how to deal with it. Early detection is very key to making sure children are successful with dyslexia. However, learning to treat this is also important. This brings me to my third point. If we can learn how to teach, finding various ways of teaching children with disabilities will help them learn different ways. In an interview I conducted with Ms. Paula Landrum, who is the director of the Dyslexia Foundation of Memphis, she found various ways of teaching children with disabilities. One is called the memory board. What the memory board does is has a hard surface on this side and a soft surface on this side. The soft surface is for them to like put their paper on, write, or anything like that. The hard surface is what they use is kind of braille, kind of like where people with that's blind, they kind of feel the different letters or whatever. Well, this part is they repeat everything from left to right, what they're trying to remember. And what it does is send sensories up their fingertips and down through and up to their brain. So they do it over and over, like 3 times, and then they try to remember it without doing it. And that's what helps them to remember simple things. Like, if I was to say, like, I want to remember what a noun is, I would just go, a noun is a person, place, or thing. A noun is a person, place, or thing. And it kind of helps them remember what it is. Another thing is called peology. That's when a certain type of way that you try to develop certain things that you might want to try to remember. Now, everybody remembers in math when you try to do certain things, like the example of, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's the same thing that dyslexics use to try to remember things. When you use that acronym, you were trying to remember parentheses, exponents, please excuse my, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. That's the same thing that they kind of try to do when they're trying to learn. In closing, dyslexics are no different than we are. The only thing that they have to do is try to learn to deal with what they have been given. So if we can just remember to, if dyslexics can just find out, get their signs and symptoms, early diagnosis, and various ways of learning, they will be good in life. My final thing is to leave you with what, there are many people with dyslexia that are famous. Whoopi Goldberg, Leonardo da Vinci, all of these people got dyslexia and they still made it in life. Thank you.